hope you're all well. Hope you're doing great and had an awesome Monday. First day back at work. Who loves going back to work? I'm sure you all do. You all love going back to work because working is great, right? It pays your bills. And that's what we do. We pay our bills because this is important to us. These days, it's all about paying your bills, you know. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding here. So what I was going to say, firstly, I want to say that thank you so much for your support. I have received so many messages and comments from people, from everyone, from all of you, and it has been really great and amazing to see that you're all kind of finding these videos useful and helpful, and you can utilize it and find it, you know, you can use it in your daily life and you find it like meaningful, or in some ways I really hope that it helps you in some ways, you know, where I make some sort of a difference in some ways, or be able to advise you in some things which I am in, you know, I'm learning myself. I'm on the journey of growth, and I'm on the journey of, you know, improving myself, and I want to take all of you together to improve with me so that we all become this amazing best version of ourselves and become successful people in life, you know. It's not just about just having a lot of money. It's about growth. It's about conditioning yourself to become the better version, to have that mindset where you only do the right thing, and you know, and these are the things which matters really in the long run. These are the things which matters. And so thank you so much for your support. Really means a lot to me. What I want to talk about today is smart way to handle failures. We all have failure, let's face it, we all have. There's no one in this world who doesn't fail. We all do. I certainly have, and I don't know how many times, I can't even count that many times I've failed. I've continuously failed, but there's ways of dealing with failures. Some people, they stay in that zone where they, you know, become so hard on themselves because they failed. They live on that failure for months, for years, for weeks. You know, I even know people who apply for this one job and they don't get the job, or they don't have the successful interview. They cry about it for ages, for months, and they wouldn't do anything. They say, oh, I failed, now I'm not gonna apply for any jobs. So it's crazy how people kind of stay with the failures, and really kind of affects them, of course, mentally and emotionally, and they stay with that failure for such a long time. And so I wanted to talk about smart ways of handling failure, so that you don't have, you know, the ways on how to handle. If anything happens in the future, you know how to overcome that. So number one thing is vent the frustration you have. So when we fail, we get angry. We get angry with ourselves. We get angry with people. We get angry just because we failed. We, you know, put ourselves down, and we kind of question our, you know, capabilities. So I would say that just let it out. So let the frustration out, let the anger out by speaking, by saying either to yourself or you know, to someone who you know, you care about, like your loved ones. Just vent out your frustration, which would really help you to kind of let things out from your system, because it's really important. Because when whatever you resist, what happens is when we fail, we try to hide, we try to cover, or we try to not talk about it. Just accept it. Acceptance is a big thing. Acknowledging and accepting that you failed. It's a big deal, and you should do that, because when you accept and acknowledge that you failed in something, then you can kind of recover yourself. Because if you don't even acknowledge it that you failed, then it will be very difficult for you to come past that, you know. So make sure that you acknowledge, you went, let it out, say things whenever you fail, whenever things doesn't work. For example, last week I usually go to the gym for 3 times a week, but I came back from India, I was jet lagged, I only went once, and I was overtired, and I was telling myself I'm overtired, and I failed. I didn't go to the gym because I was just giving excuses to myself that I'm tired, and I didn't. So this week I've decided to keep my outfits at work so that I don't fail. So the second point is take a micro step. So that's where the second point comes in, is take a micro step towards your goal. So last week I failed in going to the gym. This week I keep my outfits at work so that I can make sure that I am going to the gym, instead of overthinking that, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. I just just go without, like you eat, like you breathe, like you go to work. You just do it. Just take a small step towards your goal, so that you go back to your routine, or things you need to do, or things you need to do to achieve your goal. So that's the second point, is take a micro step towards your goal. So whichever things you failed in, don't vent it first, let it out. Don't vent it for too long, don't vent it for weeks. 5-10 minutes is enough. Our emotions are usually last only for few seconds. Scientifically proven, our emotions, whatever we feel, it only lasts for few seconds. But what happens is we dwell on things. We keep reminding ourselves, and we keep telling our mind like, look, this happened, and we keep dwelling, and that's where you keep thinking about it, and you overthink it, and you overstress yourself, and you get angry, you get anxious, you get frustrated. So don't let it get to you. Just vent it for 10 minutes, and then next step is to take a micro step towards what you are planning to achieve, whether it's a job interview, whether it's any kind of new business you're looking to start. If you're not doing it, try to just take a micro step towards your goal, so that you go back to what you meant to be doing. The third point is that you got to take away the lesson you learned from this failure. So learning the lesson is the crucial thing. If you don't learn from what you've failed in, so if you don't learn from that failure, it would be very, very difficult for you to so that you don't repeat that mistake again, right? So the idea is to not repeat that mistake again. So learn from that failure, learn from that, what you can do next time, which will improve your success rate, improve your ability to make sure that you don't do the same thing which you did last time. And it's a learning process. It's not something once it will happen and then you will be with that forever. It will be sometime you fail, you go back to what you meant to be doing, and then something happens again, and then you go back. It's all about going back to what you meant to be doing. It's really important that you focus on learning from it, taking the step forward, and learning from your failures, so to speak, because it's all about learning experience. Every failure has a lesson, and it's not to say that it's anything bad. It's just, it happens. It's life, things happens, and we shouldn't take everything too seriously. We should just learn from it and move on with our lives, so that we've taken the lesson which is necessary, and then move on with our lives. And this is what going to kind of exceed or make you successful, because successful people, they don't dwell on things. They fail maybe millions times, but they don't dwell on their failure. They think about what action they need to take next in order to be successful, in order to make sure that they reach that goal they're aiming for. They don't dwell on it, they don't sit on it. Even my mentors say that he speaks to very, very successful people, and they, as soon as they fail, they think about what is the next option, what is the next idea they need to work on, what they need to do, what they've learned, how they can do it differently. It's all about ideas, it's all about brainstorming, it's all about not letting your emotion get better of you. It's just about improving yourself. So this was just a quick live stream for you, to a smart way of handling failure. So I hope you found it useful, and let me know what you're thinking about this, and if you found it any specific points which you found it really useful and helpful for yourself. And yeah, speak to you all very soon.